Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to go over individual response to training. Now, this is a topic that really needs to be discussed, and there's going to be a lot of reasons why you need to know this, so stay tuned. Alright, so we've done some videos on the history of training, and we figured out that structural training happened thousands of years ago. But really, science didn't come into play until the early mid-1900s. So less than 100 years ago is when we actually started putting science down. Now, here's the thing. In training programs, for most of us, because of budgetary standards or just plain laziness, we think that we can take a workout that someone else has done and achieve either good or great results, and we can copy the exercise to the T. And the answer is that's absolutely false. And here's a handful of reasons why. One, everyone responds to different training stimuluses in a different fashion. Now why? Well, some of it's unsure, but I can tell you what I think. What I think, one, is that we all have a slightly different muscle fiber makeup. Some of us have more type 1, type 2, and different hybrid style fibers. So that's muscular. The second most important thing, I think, is all of our nervous systems respond to different training in different ways. This is also genetic and has a lot to do with what we've done in the past. I.e., if you have been since 4 years old working on the farm, carrying bales of hay and buckets of gravel and this kind of stuff for many, many years, your work capacity is going to be much greater than the average person that just sits around and does nothing, which is very common these days with cuts in the gym. And physical fitness in schools usually be the first thing that we cut in an economic crisis. But the big thing is that everyone adjusts to everything differently. Now, we've covered muscles and we've covered neurological systems. The other thing that I think really changes how much volume and intensity we can withstand is biomechanics. So the third thing that I think is super important is that depending on torso length, femur length, shin length, bone, like humerus bone lengths on the bench press, can determine or may determine how much volume you can withstand. This is why it's very important to listen to people that aren't necessarily built to lift that got insanely strong. The reason is because most times people that have, say, a negative biomechanical efficiency to squat tend to learn a lot more than people that are naturally built to lift. Take me, for example. I am 6'1", and my squat form to break world records had to be nearly impeccable in order for me to hit world-class numbers. Whereas if I was 5'7" at the same weight, my mechanics would be a lot better to squat bigger weights. The point is that I had to learn technical proficiency very young and very quickly and keep it throughout my entire career. Not only handle those particular weights, but handle them safely. So let's scroll back to before we started talking about what the 3 or 4 main areas are that cause individual response to training. And what we need to understand is that we can't copy workouts from manuals. We can't copy workouts from other people that we want to do. It's all based on individual response. And that's why we've created online coaching, is the simple fact that depending on the type of equipment you have, your stress levels, your goals, which most people think is number 1, but it's actually probably down around number 5, the biomechanical efficiency and all these other things play a crucial factor. So for many of you guys that take the manuals and just follow them to the T, albeit it's way, way better than doing another program that has no educational basis, it's still not exactly designed for you. And that's why it's frustrating sometimes, because people, when they ask me, hey, I've been doing your manual, and then I start to realize that they haven't even read the first few pages, which says, warning, although this particular style of training has been designed with the best of our abilities, it's not necessarily designed for your needs at that time. So the biggest reason I think that the individual response to training happens is individual weaknesses. Now, weaknesses could come in the form of physical or psychological, right? If you're not scared of maxing all the time, or you don't have a big ego to max all the time, i.e. you're not worried about hitting PRs constantly, sometimes those type of people can get way stronger because they just don't associate stress and training. Some people have a lot of anxiety to go to the gym. I would say that 50% of the reason most people don't even work out is because they have anxiety when they go and do any kind of physical activity. That's why you don't see a lot of the population really even train. So how do you adjust stuff for that? Well, the answer is you need to take a huge look at a 360-degree whole circle of what's going on in your life and then decide which training is right for you. Now, getting stronger will always help no matter what your goal is, but how you get there is super, super important. And that's why I stress that at least guys get on to online coaching at least a couple of months to get an idea of what you should be doing and get professional assessments. So at the end of the day, try to not go to magazines and articles and even some manuals and try to copy everything verbatim. Step back a second, look at the entire picture and go, is this for me at this time? And don't just look at your goal. Look at all the other factors that are entailed in training. Stress, nutrition, sleep, all these factors. So I hope this helps. You guys go on to winningstrength.com, take a look at some of the products we have, and let's help you get to the next level.